Hi, I'm Dr. Sandeep Jha. I'm a liver disease specialist and a liver transplant surgeon, and I work as a consultant at Manipal Hospital, Dwarka, which is in Delhi, India. Over my years of experience, I have interacted with thousands of patients with chronic liver disease and cirrhosis and guided their treatment. And I've also been involved in numerous liver transplants over these years. Today, we are going to talk about liver function tests. What are these tests? When you first present to a doctor, he will take a clinical history, he'll examine you, he'll order some blood investigations, he might order some imaging which may include an ultrasound, a fibroscan, maybe a CT scan, he will order a upper GI endoscopy. Now, why are all these tests important? See, if you are a patient with advanced cirrhosis, it's very easy to make a diagnosis. The moment you walk into a doctor's office, he can immediately recognize that you have cirrhosis. But the challenge is in catching the disease early. And early cirrhosis or early chronic liver disease, if we are able to catch, we can modify the risk factors, modify the problems that are causing the liver disease, and maybe we can prevent the patient from going into a frank liver failure. So diagnosing chronic liver disease early is very important from a patient's perspective. Now, when the clinician orders all these tests, in early cases he collects data from all these tests and then arrives at the diagnosis, and it's not easy to determine the diagnosis just from one of these tests. But today we'll talk about the blood tests that are called the liver function tests. Now, what are the importance of these tests? In cases of cirrhosis or advanced cirrhosis, the results of these tests are used to determine the MELD sodium score or child score or CTP score. These scores are designed to see the prognosis of a patient of chronic liver disease or cirrhosis, and also the candidacy for liver transplant, if the patient requires a liver transplant or is eligible for a liver transplant. So the scores, the results of these tests are taken and entered into a calculator, MELD sodium calculator or CTP calculator, and gives you a score based on which you determine if what is the prognosis or the candidacy of the patient. Now, when we say liver function test, the doctor doesn't only look at the traditional liver function test. He also looks at your complete blood count, which is called the hemogram. He looks at the liver function test definitely, and he looks also at the kidney function test, and then he looks at something which is called a prothrombin time or international normalized ratio, which you can find as PT-INR in your blood reports. So after ordering all these tests, when we look at the CBC or a hemogram, the important tests, the important parameters are hemoglobin, which usually in a normal person is above 10 or 11. However, in a cirrhotic patient, especially in advanced cirrhosis, it can be low, and levels of 8 to 9 are also acceptable in a patient with cirrhosis. Then we look at a WBC count or total leukocyte count, which is usually between 4,000 to 11,000. And even in advanced cirrhosis, even the WBC count or the total leukocyte count can be on the lower side. Similar, the platelet count is important in a hemogram, and usual range of platelet count is between 1.5 lakhs to 4.5 lakh. And in a patient with cirrhosis with portal hypertension, the platelet count is usually the first to show a decreasing trend. And in patients with cirrhosis, it is very common to find platelet count below 1 lakh, and despite of treatment, this platelet count does not rise. So why does this happen? This happens because as you notice, these are the cell lines in the blood, that is red blood cell lines, which cause the hemoglobin to drop, the WBC count, which causes the TLC to drop, white blood cell, and the platelet. So all these cells are killed in the spleen because of the portal hypertension. Because of the cirrhotic liver, there's congestion in the spleen, and hence these cell lines are destroyed in the spleen, and hence you find that in patients with chronic liver disease, these all three cell lines or hemoglobin or TLC or platelet count can remain on the lower side despite treatment. Then the next we look at is a liver function test. The first parameter in the liver function test is usually the total bilirubin. bilirubin. And in advanced cases, in early cases, the bilirubin may be normal, but in advanced cases, when the liver is functioning suboptimally, it may not be able to clear the bilirubin, and hence you have a higher bilirubin, which the normal levels of bilirubin is usually less than 1 total bilirubin. But in patients with advanced cirrhosis, the liver is unable to clear out the bilirubin, and you will find that for months to weeks to months, the bilirubin will remain elevated and the liver is unable to clear the bilirubin. The next parameter that we look at is AST, or it is also written as SGOT in your reports, and also ALT or SGPT as it is mentioned in some of the reports. These are together known as the liver enzymes, and if these are elevated, then it shows that there's some kind of inflammation or some kind of damage that is going on in your liver, which is causing your AST and ALT to rise. And if this is the case, then it's a case that we should modify. There's some damage that is going on either due to alcohol or hepatitis B virus, hepatitis C virus, and it is an opportunity for us to modify these factors so that the liver is not further damaged. Next, we look at is alkaline phosphatase or gamma GT, which is mentioned as ALP or GGT in your reports. These parameters are usually suggestive of blockage in the bile duct. Now, bile is something that the liver secretes. It goes into your intestine and it mixes with your food and helps you to absorb your food. But when these bile channels are blocked, your ALP and gamma GT might significantly rise. However, in cases of cirrhosis or chronic liver disease, these may be mildly elevated but not to a very high level. If they are very high, then it points towards some kind of blockage in the biliary system that may be due to stones or cancer or cholangiocarcinoma or pancreatic cancer. The next parameter in liver function test that is very important is albumin. Now, it is said that liver performs more than 400 functions in the body that is performed by the liver, and the synthetic function or the manufacturing of proteins that is very important is also performed in the liver, and albumin is one such protein which has various roles to play in the physiology of a body. And if the liver is not functioning optimally, your albumin levels will be down. Normally the albumin levels are between 3.5 to 5.5, but in a chronic liver disease patient, especially in advanced cirrhosis, your albumin levels will be low, and usually the doctors artificially support it by giving intravenous albumin in such cases. So similar when we talk about prothrombin time or international normalized ratio, PT-INR, this is another factor that is related to the synthetic functions of the liver. Now, this parameter shows the function of coagulation in your blood. If you ever had a cut on your body, you would have noticed that within minutes the body forms a clot, and that minor bleed or that puncture is plugged due to the formation of these clots. What are these clots? These are clots that are formed by the proteins, the coagulation proteins that are manufactured in the liver. And if your liver is not functioning properly, your liver is not manufacturing these proteins, and hence a minor needle prick, a small cut, and or a minor trauma on your body can bleed profusely if the INR, PT-INR is deranged or it's elevated. So this is also a very important liver function test. Now, it's not unusual in a chronic liver disease or a cirrhotic patient to find that your bilirubin or AST, ALT is normal. It can be normal, and patient can have cirrhosis or advanced cirrhosis also. So like I said, you cannot depend on just one parameter to establish a diagnosis. You have to look at the whole picture, whole amount of data that you get from a patient. Next, the test that we look at is a renal function test, and in the renal function test, the important parameters are a serum creatinine. So serum creatinine is a marker of renal function test, and why it is important is because if your liver is failing, slowly it will start damaging your kidneys, or if you are on diuretics to reduce the amount of fluid, that can also cause a damage to the kidney, and that damage is shown by the increasing or elevation of serum creatinine. Usually the creatinine levels are less than 1, and if it's rising, then it can be hepatorenal syndrome or diuretic induced damage, most commonly in chronic liver disease cirrhotic patients. The next parameters in the kidney function test that we look at is the serum sodium. Serum sodium has recently been identified as a very prominent prognostic marker, and usually serum sodium goes down in patients who have advanced cirrhosis or late cirrhosis. Usually the sodium levels in your body is between 135 to 145, and sodium performs numerous physiological functions in the body. And if your sodium is going low, that means you have advanced cirrhosis, and it is a marker of a poor long-term prognosis if your sodium is down. And it has been recently incorporated into the MELD score system, and instead of MELD, now we calculate a MELD sodium score, which determines the prognosis or candidacy for transplant for a patient with chronic liver disease cirrhosis. Next, after this, so when we have all this data, then your doctor will calculate the MELD sodium score or child status or CTP score. If the MELD sodium is above 15, then it's an indication that you require a transplant. If you are early, child A does not require transplant, it's early cirrhosis, but late child B, that is CTP score of 8, 9 or above, is an indication that you require a transplant. However, these scoring systems that we have developed over the years, they are not foolproof, because there are numerous patients that we have seen who have symptoms like ascites, and they have to be drained again and again, or if they have persistent jaundice, or if they are recurring going into encephalopathy, or the ammonia is affecting their brain, and they land up in a drowsy state. With all these symptoms, their blood levels or blood parameters that we just now discussed may be absolute normal or near normal, and hence it will not reflect in your MELD sodium score and your CTP score or a child score. So clinicians frequently determine the candidacy for transplant on the basis of symptoms. If these parameters are normal but the patient are having recurrent symptoms, then he also might recommend you for liver transplant. Now this video is for your information only, so that you are aware that there's some problem. In case if there is problem, definitely you should not form your own opinions. You should definitely seek a professional opinion who can guide you much better and counsel you much better. In the subsequent videos, we'll see how you can use these parameters to calculate your MELD score and child score and be more aware, and determine your prognosis, or you can understand how far out your disease is, or if you're early cirrhosis, then what you can do to prevent the development of cirrhosis and delay the development of liver failure. So these information, I believe, is very important for you to manage your chronic liver disease and cirrhosis. So if you have benefited from this video and you think the information is important, then please like and share and subscribe this channel, so that I can share similar important information with you from time to time. Thank you.